After you heard initially that it was Southside Crips that may have been behind it, just obviously because of the fight that happened with Orlando Anderson earlier, did you hear anything from the streets that was starting to corroborate that? Because you must then...
Well, exactly, I did. But also not so directly, because again, a couple of days after all that went down, I was taken off the streets, basically dealing directly with that case. I had other things was going on, but all that started rolling, the chief thought it was best to take me off because Las Vegas PD wasn't accepting any information that I was getting from Reggie regarding, and I was trying to relay it directly to them.
Because of Reggie's connections to death row. And
yeah, and he was out there.
And Suge Knight was stonewalling him at this point, not wanting to do his interview. And
of Reggie's knowledge and being a security, he just wasn't at the scene of the shooting, but he still had a lot of clout as far as the security director to hear and talk about what they believed led up to the Southsiders coming back and shooting them through guys that were in Suge's entourage. So as he passed that on to me, you know, I tried to give that information to Las Vegas, but they shut me off, wouldn't take my call, because I kept saying Lieutenant Reggie Wright. I shouldn't have said that, but I should have said Lieutenant Wright. And then right quick, they never came to the phone. The homicide guys, they never come. What they did is first thing in the morning, they called my chief, got a hold of my chief, and told my chief that they wouldn't accept it. They'll take the information from anybody else. That's why he decided to remove me from being directly involved in assisting Las Vegas into Bobby, me appointing Bobby, and Bobby just reports to me. You know, so I was getting stuff because of my, you know, having people calling me directly and all that. And I started hearing exactly what Reggie was saying. I was still getting calls. At the time, we had pages. We didn't have all this. Where I would be getting pages of people that I knew from the streets that knew I wanted to know something that were telling me certain things. So that's how I had gotten the information. Darnell got shot. It was right after, and the little girl. And I go, oh Lord, this is about to jump off. Because, you know, my experience and my sense said, okay, they done retaliated, they done shot over here. So at the Southsider, they're gonna shoot. It's gonna be open at Looters. Right. So that's when I called Brennan and Ladd, and I said, hey, look, this done went down. Tupac and Suge done got shot, and now Darnell done got shot, because they know it's Southside, it's on. Get your butt and get out in the streets. Get out in the streets. Get there. So they came in that Sunday and everything. But before they can get on top of it, we had a shooting in Looters. Two people got shot in Looters Park area. I don't know if it was a homicide, but a shooting started.
Right.
Somebody, and then it went back and forth, Southside, for about 3 or 4 days. So finally, Brennan got together based on all this incident and wrote a big, massive search warrant. And then Tupac ended up dying, which really built up everything. Tim and Larry got together enough to amass multiple search warrants for both sets, and ended up doing those raids and arrests and stuff. And they hooked up Orlando in it on that shooting that happened in the Nutty Block with Webb. I think that's what we arrested. We definitely didn't arrest him on the Tupac thing, because it wasn't our case. Plus, we didn't have enough, but it was enough to hold his butt. You know, so they can pursue it if they wanted to.
Right.
If they wanted to.
You picked them up for the Webb murder, so you could hold them if you needed to, and give them time to.
And then we kept the evidence. I think Ladd talked about it or so. The first couple of days after that, two detectives, good, sharp detectives, came to Compton PD to work with my team, and they were really into it, because we thought we also found some guns in a safe house right next door to where the cats hang out, or, you know, to where they could get easy access.
Right, near Orlando and them on Burris, yeah.
Yeah, it was on Glencoe, a little stash house they had. But it was a sack of guns that they recovered, and one of them also was the make and model of the one used in the Tupac shooting. So we were getting things that were evidentiary that could be looked at. And then all of a sudden, the next thing I know, about a day or so later, the sergeant, I forget his name, Nixon or something, he got a call. He got a call from his chief or somebody high in command that they got the word from the city hall, come back, don't collect anything, don't bring anything. They just like dropped the investigation. The reasoning we surmise behind that was, first of all, that shooting occurred right in the middle of Darnell, Vegas. You remember the cop that was a council person or something was reserved on the bike? This was hot. It was starting to get a lot of attention. Then you got one of the biggest rappers to die as a result of it. If you make an arrest on something like that, especially cat, what was that going to do? Bring a lot of press and a lot of notoriety to Las Vegas regarding that, and it was turning family oriented. They didn't want that in the city because blacks shooting up, two black gang members from LA shooting up each other. We don't need that. I think that's what the determination was. And they told them, come back. The detectives were mad, because
of course. They want to solve the case.
It was a solvable case.
Yeah, no,
it was a solvable case.
City politicians.
Hey, you don't bring that. I mean, it got above the chief. I think even the DA's office wasn't happy. Why you think
sure.
the DA, the current DA, recent DA, picked up on it quick when they got some additional, when fools started running his mouth, and talked his way in. Oh, wow. Because they always want to solve that.
Yep.
They won't want to solve that. You know what I'm saying? That's big. That's international.
Right.
It ain't just this shooting. Okay, but getting back to it, if those detectives that was first out here, I don't know if they're still alive or whatever, but if them guys was out here, boy, they would jump on it to take that up quick. Because they wanted to solve it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, some of them are still around. Some of the original guys, like Becker, I mean, they're retired now. But
right, of course.
Becker's still alive, I think, but retired. And,
okay, but I bet you they were on it. They knew Orlando had something to do with it, that's for sure.